Hey guys, welcome to another deck profile video, and today I'll be going through a deck profile for one of the newest right line that got released in set 5, which is Eva. And of course, since we'll be playing Eva, we'll be obviously playing the entire Eva right line, which is the Grade 0 Eva, since we need the Grade 0 Eva for the Grade 1 Eva, which basically is on when she writes from the Grade 0, you get a research card from your deck at your hand. Same thing with the grade 2, which does the same as the grade 1, except you write from the grade 1, And of course, the grade 3, which is our, the boss monster, the most units, obviously. For the first skill is act Vanguard once per turn, counterblast 1. Look at the top card of the deck equal to amount of research in your order zone, and choose a card from mounting, add to your hand, and put the remainder at the bottom of the deck. It's basically a filtering skill where uses top 2, top 3, but you guarantee top 2 since the grade 1 and grade 2 since the grade 1 and grade 2 you guarantee research card. Since from grade 1 and grade 2 you can just play one of the research in grade 2, then you just play another one in the grade 3, and you guarantee like top 2 every turn minimally. To look and add one to hand and the rest to bottom of the deck. And here's the thing, it's just the thing about Eva is that it says add a card to hand. It doesn't say choose a card, review it. It just choose a card, add it to hand. So it can kind of give a bit of mind game in the opponent, where the opponent have to like decide whether how many ratio that you have left of the card in the deck, since they won't know that you put it in hand from Eva's skill. And Eva's second skill is a pretty good skill for the second skill, which is Auto Vanguard. When this unit attacks, counterblast and soul blast 1, choose a card or deck. Choose a card with obsidites from your hand or deck, call out to rear and shuffle. If you search your deck, shuffle it. It guarantees us a 4th attack every turn. Eva is a 4th attack deck, which really makes it quite good, since multi-attacking is quite powerful in Vanguard, whether it's restand or recalling. Of course, for the grade 3, we'll obviously be playing 3 copies of the Personal Right, because you want the Personal Right has as many as you want. With how much Eva can tutor with the first skill and the amount of filtering the deck has, you might be able to Personal Right every turn. Keyword is might, because your luck might be bad, or copies may go to damage zone or something else, or might use it to discard fodder to write. Of course, our quote-unquote win con of the deck, which is 4 copies of the Dual Nation glitter card support, which is offsite. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Eva has glitter. That's it. Nothing else to say about glitter. 4 copies of obsidites, because obsidite is great in the deck. The first skill, which is just auto rear. When this unit attacks, if you have a set order in your order zone, plus 5k power for that battle. If you have 3 or more plus 10k instead, it eventually makes him an 18k base or 18k attacker on turn 3. And if you turn 4, you get to, if you have like a third order card, it's basically a 23k attacker, hitting for magic numbers, I guess, since there are 10k shield, heal, and 10k draw trigger, and also 10k intercepts for some. But most of the time will be a guide of trigger guard or 15k intercept or 15k guard. Then the second skill, which is glitter. There you go. Glitter, Eva, of course, Vanguard Eva. Auto, when this card is placed by your card's ability on the rear, choose when you have 3 or more research card in your order zone for this turn, crit +1. And the second effect is continuous rear guard and guardian circle. When this unit gets intercepts and 10k shield, it's basically a 10k shield and interceptor while being a 23k beast with 2 crits if you caught by using Eva's second effect. It's basically a win con, since it's a win con, free from win con, 33k on Persona right in turn with 2 crits, so one has to has to got like 2 or 3 cards in the hand. The 3 is quote-unquote magic numbers, since they can't guard with 10k fronts, and they also can't really intercept 15k and 5k. They have to guard with 2 triggers from the hand or PG. And also the 10k shield intercept can come in handy at times, a lot of times, since sometimes a roam like 10k card, you have to take out 10k instead of like 15k or 5k. Of course, for the grade 2, we're obviously playing 4 of the research order card, the only wish that you have. Basically, auto when placed on your order zone, draw 1, discard 1. Then, if you have 3 or more research in your order zone, then Soul Blast 1, choose one of one's rear guard and bind it. It's filtering and removing on turn 4 onwards. Since turn 2 be playing it on green 2 turn 3 be playing on the first grade 3 turn, then your turn 4, if you can survive or somehow you get your third one, play it, and you'll be able to draw a card. Then afterwards, since you have 3, you get to removal with the second part of the effect, which is basically just bind 1. And the binding is pretty strong pretty good in Overdress. In D format, since not a lot of cards can quote unquote mess around with the binding zone apart from Zorga or Stokia in general. Since you'll be very attachment to Overdress, since you guys play it, you bind like a whole bunch of cards, especially if they went for Esperadia turn where they have like 5 or 6 cards Overdress it. You just play it, so plus 1 bind their Esperadia, and the entire stack of Trick Stars and Overdress card will just go to bind. Yeah, it seems like it's like jail, but except that they can quiet from jail, but this they can't quiet anymore. This is in the bind zone. For our grade 2, other grade 2 will be 3 Pantare. Pantare is a decent grade 2, I guess. It's X rear, 1 per turn, so plus 1, draw a card, discard 1. If there's a set order in your order zone for this turn plus 5k, is basically 15k beat stick with filter. It's fine. It's fine. This is a fine filtering because you filter quite a bit with the deck. How filter more is basically this. It gives you 5k power. There's nothing much to say about it. It's a 15k beat stick. You can also use this as well as this to combo with our next card in our lineup, which is this penguin, or helpful kaiju Tektan, where it's not doesn't do anything on the field. All it does is when during your turn, if this card is discarded, look at top 5 cards of your deck for choose a set order from among them, revert edit to hand and shuffle your deck. It's basically a discard order for riding for our order card or even for Pantare. Yeah, you count for this 3 instances, discard it to grab more order cards so that you get for more effects for your outstates to faster get the 3 to gain like 23k. And to make sure that you quote unquote blast when you're discarding for these 2 as well, since it doesn't really do much. And of course you just play 1 copy of this set order, this office set order, because sometimes having a 15k booster, 15k beat stick is quite useful. That for CB, constant staying there instead of having to soul blast every turn for Pantare, even since this does consume a bit of soul as well as a bit of CB as well. Yeah, and that's why you have this. Also to have like more cards on the order zone for another card that will be showing off later. Of course, for PGs, obviously you can change the trial deck PGs into the dragon boosters at PGs because they are much better. But generally they don't really matter much apart from late game or when you have like low card in hand. Yeah, it doesn't really matter much. It's PG. You always gonna have to run 4 regardless. And you have regardlessly, we still have to run Mine, one of the best generic support that Brandt has. You wanna know how it does? And a better boost, set order in order zone, go to soul, counter charge 1. This deck do use soul quite heavily as well as CB, especially for Eva. For Eva, fuel is so counter charge for Eva to constantly filter the first skill and to call Obsidian from the second. And also you can be soul blasting bodies as well if you want to, for those skill to help to fulfill the soul to go too low, and to make use of our quote unquote abundance / turboing, I guess, of set orders in the order zone. we have successing charge of the changing star, which is continuous rearguard during our turn for each set order in the order zone plus 2k. So so basically good, just plus 2k for each experiment or research card on our order zone. You're guaranteed how to get 4k. Most high chance will be 6k, which makes her 7, 8, 9, 13k. She's basically a 13k booster or attacker basic. But you get all 4, you get plus 8k, and if you're lucky to have this as well, and you have the resource to play it, you be at 5, you bet 10k will be a 7k booster or 7k mistake. Yeah, it's this make you use it, and there's also not much like generic cards that can really use for her anyway, so she kind of makes up for it. And we play 2 of this Caretaker monster or Caretaker Kaiju Secondary. Auto when this unit is based on real search, put a non-trigger unit, put a card apart from a non-trigger put a non-trigger unit from your drop to the bottom of the deck. If a great trick was put, then so plus 2, draw 1. Is so plus 2? No, sorry, it's so plus 3, then draw 1. Yeah, I mean, it's basically, we give you guard with our Obsidites, we'll just use him to put to the bottom of the deck so that you can call him up with Eva again. And also to shuffle our deck, to mix up. If the triggers are bottom, just, shuffle it, mix it up. And then, it's nothing much. But however, before extending the second skill, the second part of the seal, it says you will put a great tree, then so plus 3, draw 1. I mean, yeah, if you want it, you can draw, but I don't normally use it since a lot of the things in the deck do consume quite a bit of soul, so I don't really draw one, and with how much the deck filters, you're gonna deck out quite soon when you're gonna keep drawing from the skill. So I don't normally draw, but if you have no choice, then you nothing, if a bunch of soul that you don't have nothing to spend on, and if exactly enough for a call for Obsidites, and sure, go ahead, draw a card if you actually need it. Trigger lineup, of course, will be Elder Breath, OT, really strong OT, first double the crits and power in the front row, really fucking powerful. Then for trigger lineup, we have 7 crits. Of course, before you say anything, definitely change 4 of the crits into effect crits. I just don't have them due to budget issues, cause they cost like what, $5-6 here from the places where I see. Some sell a bit higher, some sell a bit lower, but yeah, I don't really want to spend that much, since effect crit doesn't really help, doesn't really do that much. I mean, it does feel the soul, but Bobo Mine does what it does slightly better since it's counter charges, and he has slightly higher base power than the Deca Corp. And I normally usually prefer to keep my triggers in my hand as guarding unless I have no choice for that one soul for Obsidites, or I just want to go full out at that point. So yeah, definitely can change it. And trigger that you can and this is the trigger where you can definitely change it, which is 4 draws. You can definitely change the 4 vanilla draws into either the 4 effect fronts or into your 4 effect draws. I keep it as 4 vanilla draws because I couldn't find base rarity for the effect fronts, because the store that I went to only has holo, so I don't really want to spend money on the holo, so keep it as effect, as normal draw with vanilla draw. If I get to change, I would say just play fronts better, since you're probably gonna deck out quite easily, even if you don't play draws. But playing draws just make you deck out even faster, but you also help filter your deck a bit faster as well. But be careful, since you're most probably gonna put things to the bottom of the deck. If you put a draw bottom of the deck, there's a high chance that you're gonna lose to deck out, since this deck can survive into quite late game, like around turn can survive to about turn 5, turn 6, if it's not up against a Russia, obviously. But so yeah, you have to kind of be careful about run about about your deck sizing when you're playing draws in the deck. Which is why I prefer to play front or recommend fronts instead. But it's possible to play draw. Also, the effect fronts is 20 shield, which is much better than drawing. And of course, we play 4 heals. Obviously, who doesn't play heals? And that's the deck. That's nothing really to talk about the deck apart from comboing. I mean, the Kogel combo is just the main gaming out of turn is just Eva herself. I mean, there's nothing much about the deck. It's just main phrases filter your deck, I guess. Filter your deck, call something, like normally just keep Horse Deck in your hand, and then squat on the skill, or use it as a guard if you have Horse Deck in your deck as well. Since you have Scandal, you put it back, so you don't have to worry. I mean, you can change the deck a bit, of course. It's not perfect. Then there's also people like experimenting with different builds, like World, like World Eva, which is like it's unplayable. It doesn't work. I mean, unless you want to use the discard right fodder. I don't know why you want to do that. You can definitely play Prison Eva. Prison Eva might work. I mean, the Prison does so just 3, but I would say that's a bit too much so at that point. And I don't think, I mean, it's playable, it's workable, but in my opinion, if you're playing Eva Prison, you might as well just play pure Prison at this point, since it's just a worse pure Prison, as your Vanguard doesn't, prison things, and you don't have the access to grade 4 unless you're playing, Seraph, or in the main deck as well as the grade 4 Seraph for some reason. Yeah, which is why I just recommend just play Pure Eva. Pure Eva is much more consistent, much more playable. It's not strong per se, but it's pretty consistent and playable. Obviously the deck is pretty weak against rush deck, since you're going to have like a bunch of orders in the early game. A lot of orders in the early game. So you can't really discard them. And you don't really want to discard them for riding anyways compared to Zorga. So it's a weak early game where if a opponent rushes you, you're technically kind of fucked, but it's not end of the world if you just manage your resource properly, which the deck does want to manage your resource quite well, since counter blast for the first skill, it's not mandatory, but the 5k does work. And you definitely want to every time call your Obsolete, and you definitely want to also be worried about what card you discard from your order card, so order anything for Pandare. But normally, since we play vanilla draws, you just discard vanilla draws for as the discard cost, and obviously deck 10 for such. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty solid. It's definitely not like meta tier. It's very fun to play. It's very playable. It's definitely. I mean, if you win against meta decks. It's not meta yet. I mean, if the deck has more support, like more research cards, or more cards that sound like support run or putting cards, the bottom of the deck like Secondal, like put obsolete, it will be much stronger, like much better. It's a very playable deck. In my opinion, I mean, in like among the 5 cross epic lines, I see Eva is like the second or third strongest deck in my opinion, and it's pretty consistent compared to the others. Tamayura, in my opinion, is the most consistent. Tegria, Tegria is like up and down in consistency with Eva, since Tegria requires you to have both the grade 3s to be playable. I mean, you're definitely going to be able to, since you have quite a lot of searchers, and Maple is a thing. Maple is absolutely broken in my opinion. Sorry for non-pause, sorry. I was thinking what to say. Maple is definitely broken in my opinion, since you're guaranteed a Maple every single turn, since you're going to personal right every single turn. Yeah, Tegria is like, in my opinion, the strongest deck. Second will be Tamayura. Third will definitely be Eba. But in consistency, Eba will be like the second to third around in consistency. Loloa, I say it's pretty consistent. Actually, I say Lolawa it will be like number 3. Right? Yeah, actually no, I'll take back what I said. I said they're all pretty consistent apart from Chaos. Chaos is pretty high rolly depending like it's obviously different type of build for high Chaos or how you can build with Chaos. Yeah, Chaos, but sometimes it could be not consistent since you need very specific amount of uh number of different cards in the hand. You basically solo lender at that point. I say it's like the least consistent. Taimura is definitely the most consistent in my opinion. Tegria, Eva is pretty consistent as well. Lolawa I say is like the middle consistency since it's very consistent in its token calling everything, but it's very piece reliant on you requiring to have Ready Arena since Ready Arena and Momoke is definitely is basically your uh your main finisher in the deck. And unlike Tegria, Eva, or Tamira, uh, Roro don't have much ability to search out for his finisher, but since he's Toikeya, he has cards that can revive Redina back quite easily as well, so it don't have matter that much. So yeah, this is the conclusion to my Eva deck list and as well. If you like it, like the video. If you want to subscribe. I don't upload much as you can see. Usually upload if I have like a deck profile to make or some random shit posting videos. But yeah, thank you very much for sitting through, and I'll maybe you'll see me again. I don't know. See you next time, I guess. Bye bye.